Strike, swing away. A diving catch, a stolen base. A perfect game, a triple play. Another playoff race. Yes, World Series.
We should open and pray. Okay. Oh, thank you to Scott Stapp for the intro. Wonderful.
That sucks.
Summarizing the beauty of baseball in Florida for the Florida Marlins. That's wonderful.
They are feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, an interesting story right now in baseball, and we're talking this week in baseball.
Tim, every week he actually shows up. We're gonna have a this week in baseball segment. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So we'll get right into it.
Keep us occupied throughout the long summer.
Yeah.
For our outdoor JMFPSPs, assuming we make it past tomorrow.
Exactly.
Sorry.
I
just keep throwing that in.
We mentioned that at least once in every segment.
It's the apocalypse edition, ladies and gentlemen.
How much time is left to that now?
It's 2:38, so 3:38, 4:38. 2 hours and 22 minutes.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we're going to be talking baseball. So, all right. Quite the story over the past week has been Boston. They've been the Boston Red Sox. I think there's a little hope at the end of the tunnel there, Ryan, for our pick to win the division.
Not 110 games, though.
You know, yeah.
Actually, could they get unbelievably hot and win 110 games?
I think they could.
Ooh, I feel good about that.
They're currently 24-20, only half a game behind the Tampa Bay Rays.
Assuming they play another game. Sorry.
And
keep going there.
Their latest win was a spanking of the Chicago Cubs, 15-5 at Fenway.
Oh god, that was awful. They were playing trivia in the fourth inning.
Oh yeah.
It was
yeah,
so,
well, there was
trivia. It was over so quickly. Pat was like, "All right, trivia. I've had enough of this crap. I'm Pat Hughes. I got stuff to do."
Last night on the news, they called it a slugfest for both teams, but I think it was just one.
Yeah, an Adrian Gonzalez slugfest. More like I heard he had a big game last night. Honestly, I stopped paying attention after a while. It was just so boring.
Well, they've been quite the story, climbing back into the race. I believe last week when we talked about them, they were fourth place, but gotten right back into it. 8-2 in their last 10 on a 7-game winning streak.
Half a game behind the Rays.
Mm-hmm. And
the Rays are in trouble.
Well, 5-5.
Lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, they're struggling against Scott Stapp's Florida Marlins right now, but it's up and down. And right now the Red Sox are up. The Rays and Yankees are down. The Yankees are only 2-7 in the last 10, so they're having some trouble right now too. No, I'm sorry, they're 3-7 in the last 10.
Yeah.
So the AL East definitely shaping up to be quite a race. Teams are going to go up and down from here on out, but the NL West is the polar opposite of that. It's a 2-team race. You got 3 teams that are below 500, and it's between San Francisco and Colorado at this point.
Yeah.
With the Dodgers going through ownership changes, and Arizona with Armando Galarraga last summer, a big story in the major leagues, and this year he has like an 18 ERA or something like that. Terrible.
Always the way, huh? Well, he only had the perfect game. It was the only good game he pitched all year, right?
Exactly, and he was a guy going back and forth between the minors. So Arizona kind of took a gamble having him as a big part of their rotation, and he's been questioned on whether he's moving back to the bullpen, and he blew up at a reporter for asking him that. He's like, my job's not in trouble, man. I'm not going back to the bullpen,
Yeah.
Or to the minors for that, And
that would be so sad if you were in where is he, the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, Diamondbacks.
The Arizona Diamondbacks farm system.
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
Yeah. I don't even know what their AAA team is. I think it's...
No one cares.
I can't remember.
It really doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
At all.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Having a hard time over there?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and...
Just making sure, man.
And something that we talked about at the beginning of the season being a competitive race has also not turned out to be. The AL West at this point has become competitive losing. The Rangers are the only team in the division that are above 500 at 23-22, and they have first place. They are 5-5 in the last 10.
It's competitive. I mean,
it's competitive. It's an interesting race, but for different reasons. Other than it's a good race, it's not. It's a sloppy race. But
the Mariners have this hot young pitcher, right? He's a rookie this year. He had a phenomenal start this week, from what I understand. I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah, I've heard about him. I can't recall the name right now either. Do you know Corey, Mr. Remember the pitcher?
No.
None of him?
Well, might have been. I don't know. Whatever.
But Mariners are only 2.5 back, and they're 4 games under 500. So that's That's an embarrassment out there in the AL West. So a 2-team race in the NL West, and then you got all 4 teams in the AL with sub 500 records.
The AL with. I like that.
West. Sorry, a lisp I just developed. They have a couple of guys injured.
Yeah. Michael Pineda? No. That's not it. Pitchers. These are all pitchers here. Felix Hernandez obviously is really good.
Yeah.
I want to say it's... I don't know. I want to say it's this Pineda. Dude. Watch, I'm going to go pull up his number. He's like a 15-year pro. The opposite of a rookie.
That must be it right there.
Pineda's dominant. Yeah, it's this guy.
Michael
Pineda. His last start, he lost. 4.5 ERA. 6 innings. 5 hits. 3 earned runs. A walk and a couple strikeouts. Or a few strikeouts. Where was his hot start? Oh, sorry, that's in April. Look at me. I'm reading the wrong thing.
Oh, well, that was his first start.
They won this one. 7 innings, only 3 hits, no earned runs.
7 strikeouts.
7 strikeouts. That's considerably better than his first start.
Oh, look at me. Okay.
So there you go.
Oh. So
His debut this year.
So the Mariners have some pitching.
Yeah, and this is who I'm talking about. This is the hot rookie, Michael Pineda.
We'll see if it can get him back into the race to catch those red hot.
If he can continue to develop into a dominant pitcher, can you imagine, assuming this guy gets good, along with Felix Hernandez, not a bad rotation.
Yeah. Or they might also both becoming trade bait later along the line when they fall out of the race. But
yeah, it looks like the next couple Yankees starters to me.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. They're looking for young guys over there.
Always.
They're not doing so good right now, so they'll be looking for new guys to come in.
What about the Yankees? What is going on with the New York Yankees?
And I mean, Posada took himself out of the lineup there.
I have thoughts about that.
Oh, you have thoughts about that?
I have thoughts about Jorge
Jeter
Posada.
backed him up, saying it's okay for him to take a few days off or whatever to get himself back in the game.
To give you some statistics, they're in third place, only 3 games over 500.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost 1, but they're only 3-7 in the last 10 games. So not doing too well from a season standpoint at this point. They've had a tough last couple of weeks. You got the power rankings here? Or
Yeah.
where are the Yankees at? 10th? Yeah, they're going
10th.
down.
Yeah, last week they were 3rd.
Yeah, that sucks. But I'm surprised the Red Sox are so low. I think the Red Sox are way better than their record.
Well,
they still, even though they got off to that terrible start, they still have all the talent they had at spring training.
Mm-hmm.
And and they're hitting now. And if Adrian Gonzalez can keep hitting, there you go. He's a dominant player, and he was dominant in the National League, and it seems like he's even more dominant in a tougher American League, which is interesting.
Oh, he definitely gets more exposure and more placed on him.
He goes from the irrelevant NL worst to the best division in baseball in the AL East, and he's kicking ass.
Mm-hmm.
So
and on paper, the best team in the league. So
on paper.
On paper,
Don't
at this
wish
point,
games
not
were
yet.
played on paper?
Yeah.
I would feel so much better.
Yeah.
Because I love dominant teams that are supposed to win.
Yeah.
That's what makes sports
Well, what
great.
interests me is they have
Great teams doing great things.
Right. What interests me, they have the Angels higher than the Yankees and the Red Sox. So.
I like the Angels. I've always liked them. I just like their uniforms.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, now my Jorge Posada thoughts. Baseball players are pussies. Okay, Jorge Posada goes in to Joe Girardi and says, I don't want to play today. Jorge Posada, now if he was still catching, I would get it, because squatting for 3.5 hours ain't my idea of a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the DH. DHs bat 3 times a game, if that. You're probably going to get pinch hit in your later innings. I'm not impressed with any DH in the league, really. And so, at least, obviously DH is impressive, but I'm not impressed with their workload.
Uh-huh.
DHs are sitting in the dugout spitting sunflower seeds, and if you don't have the energy to do that, what's the difference between not playing and being a DH? You get to hit 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Go up and swing a bat. It's not hard. And they're probably going to pitch run you anyway because you're so old. So, this idea, and you don't have the mental toughness to do that?
Well, it seemed
I find that ridiculous.
It wasn't so much like mental toughness as it was. He said it's best for the team. I take myself out of the lineup for a few days, find my swing again, and kind of because he was placed at ninth in the order.
The words, "I'm not mentally ready to play today."
Not mentally ready.
That's what he said, and that's what Girardi said he said.
Well, to make contact, gotta have your head in the game. I don't know what that entails as not being mentally prepared.
He's hitting 143 this year.
Yeah.
He's crap. He's old and slow, and he's washed up, and the Yankees need to get rid of him at some point.
It might take about half a season or
I'd
maybe
assume
a
he's
season.
Gonna retire by the All-Star break, wouldn't you?
With his mental toughness issues, maybe so.
This baseball players, pitchers take themselves out of the lineup when they have a blister.
Yeah. Kerry Wood.
Remarkable. That's remarkable to me because I'm pretty sure these quarterbacks, Rodgers, Breeze, Brady, Manning, all these guys had blisters on their hands from day one of training camp.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden baseball players just, I have a blister, I'm not going to pitch today. Like, come on. Really?
Yeah. It's a developing stereotype in the league.
They're soft. Baseball players are all of them. I think all baseball players are soft. I've had enough.
Well, it's a soft game. It's not a contact
sport.
sport.
Is a soft game. This game is pathetic. And baseball, I think Jorge Posada made all baseball players in general look like because he made an ass of himself this week. There's no other way to put it. He made an ass of himself. I'm not tough. I don't want to play today. I don't feel like going up and swinging the bat 3 times.
And on top of that, one of the greatest players ever play the game, Derek Jeter, backed him up on it. He said, "Oh, it's okay. Sometimes you just have those days."
It's baseball. Little league, if you're in the outfield, you're sitting there, picking at the grass.
Yeah. I remember my days of standing out there for so long. My failed venture into playing baseball, but always playing center field, and
I loved the outfield because you could just stand there.
Yeah, kicking the grass, swatting flies, and watching the planes fly overhead. That was a lot of fun.
I remember we got to use actual gloves. Like we brought a bunch of in gym class when I. In elementary school, we actually got gloves one time to play baseball. I took the glove off and put it on my head as a hat when I was playing center field because I was like, I'm not doing this. This is boring.
You probably literally could do that in any baseball game in Little League.
Baseball players.
Nobody ever hits it to the outfield.
The point is, baseball players are soft.
Mm-hmm.
And Jorge Posada in particular, I can't believe it. You're sitting in the DHs for the majority of the time are sitting in the dugout doing nothing.
Yeah, and this is one of the leaders of the Yankees too, one of their veterans and the best players over the course of the past decade.
And people are giving him back like, oh, it's okay. He's gonna be fine tomorrow.
Yeah, just got to take some extra BP or whatever.
The fact that you can't get it together and go out there and swing the bat a couple times is pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's my soapbox on Jorge Posada. I've been waiting to do that all week.
Well,
I wanted to do a Ryan Hartson show segment about it, but I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the next segment of what I'm talking about, the surprises of the league, the Cleveland Indians and the Florida Marlins.
Yeah. Is that your World Series at this point?
There was the...
God, that would be the shittiest
That
World
was
Series.
the 1997 World Series, the Indians and Marlins, right?
God, you know how bad the ratings would be? I don't watch the World Series when the Yankees are in it. And you think I'm going to watch it when the friggin' Cleveland Indians and Florida Marlins
you talked about last year when 2 new teams were in it, the Giants and the Rangers.
I didn't watch that. I didn't watch a second of playoff baseball last year. Do you think I'm going to watch it now when these irrelevant teams that really don't matter are good?
The ratings of the playoffs for baseball last year were an embarrassment from new teams. And, that's...
The World Series did a 2.5 on average. Mm-hmm. Mike and Mike in the Morning, which is a sports talk show, does a 3-3 daily. 3-3. So 3.3 million people.
Mm-hmm.
A million more people watched Mike and Mike than the World Series. The World Series.
Yeah.
So baseball is in a terrible place.
And
I think it's well deserved because it's a slow game. It sucks.
You had Josh Hamilton and Tim Lincecum in that World Series and still didn't attract enough people.
Impressed. Nothing in baseball impresses me.
Yeah, and this is a lackluster season so far too.
Yeah.
The Phillies, as people saw at the beginning of the year, are dominating. But number 2 and 3 at the current power ratings, Cleveland and Florida, respectively.
Huh.
Gabby Sanchez and Logan Morrison for the Florida Marlins have been carrying the offense, which has gotten it done for them. The pitching has been okay. It's been Josh Johnson is his name.
Yeah, I think he plays for some other team.
No, I think
there's right. It's Josh Johnson.
Yeah, Josh Johnson. I think he's been their best pitcher so far.
Hot young stud.
And they're not even getting anything from Hanley Ramirez, who is their offensive power hitter, the all-around offensive guy who's hitting .213 right now.
Can this maintain?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what's.
You think both teams are going to be like? Are you talking missing the playoffs? Can't maintain or?
No, the Indians I think can maintain at the rate the rest of the AL Central is going right now. I think that there's been a lot of talk about if they're for real. Yeah, I mean the other teams in the division, they're having injury problems. They're getting no hitters from guys who are expected to be like washed up by this point, which is the only highlight of their season probably. But teams are no hitting each other in that division, and it's been pretty lackluster. So I think the Indians, with the 6-game lead, can expand on that, and the stats are looking good for them right now. But Florida, I have questions about. I don't think the Mets can catch them. The Mets have become a joke in the NL East.
They're recovering from the Bernie Madoff arrest. You hear Bernie Madoff, and that's one of the things he went to prison for was the Mets owner was embezzled by him.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like best friends, and Bernie Madoff. But so I mean, the Mets are yet another casualty of the Wall Street collapse. They are being affected by Bernie Madoff stealing money. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're in this impossible position of essentially, because the Mets eventually ownership's going to change. You're going to see a lot of new owners in baseball over the next couple of years, I think.
Yeah. With the Dodgers and the Mets going through problems.
Astros just got sold.
Oh yeah, Astros too. But yeah, if there's going to be any team to catch the Phillies or get him back into contention, it's going to be the Braves in the NL East.
Can we get Mark Cuban buying the Mets? I would love that. I know baseball people hate him.
Yeah,
because he's progressive. He likes improving things, and we don't like that.
Oh yeah,
we
gotta
don't
keep
want
the
that
tradition.
kind of nonsense
Gotta
in
keep
baseball,
the tradition. That's why they didn't want him buying the Cubs. He's gonna build like a dome stadium for him or something like that. They're like, nope, can't have that. Let's give it to the guy from Nebraska who played Little League baseball and all that.
So stupid.
But yeah, the Braves are on the rise, and I think that by June they should be back in it. And the Indians are for real. So that's what I have to say for this week in Major League Baseball. And we're back next week with more. Huh?
Oh yeah, that was fun. I like your baseball segments.
Oh wait, if we do have a next week, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even I forgot that time.
Well, it's been uplifting. It's like we've forgotten
exciting.
about it.
Yeah, baseball helps us feel better.
Baseball helps us feel better.
All right, but that was fun. Corey is still here listening. Are you? You're doing things this week, are you not?
Yeah.
Corey and I think we got a system worked out now. We are taking turns previewing and breaking down all the NBA series, so we'll do that all week. Maybe we'll have Tim back next weekend to do a little more JMFPSP?
Maybe, I don't know.
We got a solid maybe from Tim Kirstenakis. All right, good stuff.
All right, this has been the Jim Miller Frozen Sports Program
on BWC Internet Radio.